Great to have you with us. In our first story, the National Health Insurance Authority has today revealed it is struggling to achieve its yearly target of registering the poor and marginalized of the country onto the scheme. According to them, the scheme has registered 585,000 indigents out of the 2019 target of 1.5 million. Henry Kwesi-Bedu joins us on the line with more of this. Henry, what more do we know?
All right, Daniel, so the National Health Insurance Authority, as you mentioned earlier, have said that in 2015, they are able, as at now, the records show that as at October 2019, they have only registered 585,000 out of the poor and marginalized. We recall that in 2013, that's why President Kufuor administration brought into play the National Health Insurance. They have some records. In 2015, they set a target of registering about 1 million people. They exceeded that target and registered over 1.2 million of the poor and marginalized. In 2016, they had a target of 1.4 million and they registered. They also exceeded in 2016 and they registered about 1.5 million people. In 2017, that is where the problem started. In 2017, they had a target of 1.5 and they were able to just register 1.2 million. In 2018, that was last year, they had a target of 1.4 million and they were able to register just over 400,000. But this year, out of the 1.5 billion, or the target that was set, they have been able to register just for 580,000. According to them, they cited, a lot of reasons for their inability to register. Most of the poor and marginalized, according to the National Health Insurance Authority, live in remote areas. So these people, they are unable to get their data. Also, according to them, the Ministry of Gender and Social Protection are the people who have records of the poor and marginalized in the society. But the district social workers are unable to give them this record. So that is the reasons why they are unable to register these people down.
Thank you very much, Henry Kwesi-Bedu, for that update. We move from that story and we go to the offices of the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission as solar installers have stormed the facility at Ridge to demand payment for work done 4 years ago. Management of the PURC is currently in a crunch meeting over the matter with the aggrieved service providers. President of the Association of Ghana Solar Industries, Eric Owusu, and a member, Kobna Yante, have been speaking to Joy News. Let's get more on the nature of the work done from leadership of the association. We will be joined shortly.
My membership, which we have done a contract to support artisans during the Doomsday era. We agreed to do it on contract. And they promised to pay us 90 days after the work was done. For 5 years now, we haven't been paid, and that's why we are here. They continue to give us stories, and that they will pay. They say today we'll pay, next week we'll pay, and it's never happened. And that's why we are here.
How much money are we talking about?
Several millions of dollars owed to all the contractors.
So, but what sort of engagement have you had with the PURC?
They've had us in meetings and promises, and they've never followed up on their promises.
Even last week, last 2 weeks, they called a meeting in which they negotiated to pay as low as 10% of money that they owe since 2015. After 2015, they wanted to pay each contractor only 10%. And so we said, okay, if that is what they're going to pay, then we will agree for now. At least they will pay the rest. Even that one, we know, and they themselves at the same meeting said they have received the money. After 4 years, they have received the money to pay the contractors. They said they received the money from Gridco. The contract was arranged in such a way that Gridco will collect the revenues and then pay PRC to pay the contractors. We have been good citizens, great citizens, because when they called on us to be able to help all the artisans who during the doomsday days did not have power, we installed solar for them. But this is what hurts me the most. What they did was that they took the 8 top companies in Ghana, 8 top solar companies in Ghana, and collapsed all of them. And collapsed all of them. And we have allowed the foreign companies to be doing all the solar projects. Cadbury Solar was not done by a Ghanaian company. Special Eye Solar was not done by a Ghanaian company. Casapraco was not done by a Ghanaian company. All these solar projects are not going to the foreigners. So how can you take all your best solar companies, collapse them, and then allow the foreign companies to come in? How are we going to create jobs? How? Because the amounts involved are a lot. A lot of us borrowed money to do projects that come to about $1 million, $2 million. So if you don't pay, you have collapsed the solar company. Since 2015, if you don't pay, you have collapsed the solar.
Now, the leadership of the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission is in a crunch meeting with the leadership of the Ghana Solar Industries Association. And as a result, they are unable to respond to our calls now. We wanted to get some updates from them. Expect that in later bulletins. Now, doctors at the Adabraka Polyclinic have confirmed a total of 27 students from the Accra High School are receiving treatment for a suspected case of food poisoning. Medical Superintendent at the Adabraka Polyclinic, Dr. Abdul Razak Rao, said their initial investigation revealed negative tests for cholera and other infection. He, however, says a team of health officials have been sent back to the school to ascertain what food exactly caused the poisoning. But first, listen to the headmaster of Accra High School, Kwabna Beidu, who is assuring parents of their ward safety.
But it is false. We don't have 150 students of Accra High School admitted at Adabraka Polyclinic. It is false. What actually happened was that yesterday we went for our zonal sports as usual, and our students complained, some of our students complained of stomach ache. So they were rushed to Adabraka Polyclinic. Unfortunately, when the first batch went, another batch also complained, so we took them there. And I must tell you that none of our students have been admitted at Adabraka Polyclinic. This morning, we sent 5 students there because we want to be cautious. But if you complain of headache or even foot ache, we have to take you there because we don't know what is happening. So people peddling falsehood that food poisoning, there's no confirmed instance of any food poisoning in Accra High School. Normally, you see, Accra High School is populated with 2,600 plus students, you know, and those who have been sent to, they are not even up to 20. So I don't know where this story is coming from, that 150 students of Accra High School have been admitted at Adabraka Polyclinic. It's unfortunate. I must assure the whole country that Accra High School is safe. Our students are on campus, and they are even preparing to go to LWAC to continue the sporting activities we started yesterday. So there isn't any alarm in Accra High School.
But so you are attributing this to the fact that they had gone for these interzonal games, and that is where they got the pains from, and had nothing to do with your dining?
I cannot say per se, because some of them were taken to the clinic from LWAC. Some of students were also here, so they too, yeah. But in fact, yesterday, some of health inspectors from Polyclinic, Adabraka Polyclinic came here to verify what is happening here, because some of our students were rushed there. They came and checked where the students eat, our kitchen, where food is prepared. Our source of water, in fact, we don't have water because our tap flows 24/7. So we don't have any problem with water. So they came and look at all these things. Health inspectors from Adabraka Polyclinic. They were here. You see, they came and checked the status of the cookers, those who cook, the cooks, their certificate. And all of them were shown to them. And even some of the students, their stools have been taken. So as we speak, we've not gotten any report from the hospital informing us this is the cause of the students' aches.
What?
We can now hear from the medical superintendent at the Adabraka Polyclinic, Dr. Abdul Razak Rao, who confirmed the case of food poisoning.
Yesterday at around 5 a.m., they started bringing one of the teachers, I think the senior housemaster also, brought about 5 of them who came with vomiting, abdominal pain, and then diarrhea. So because they were coming from the same setting and then with the symptoms that they had, we suspected food poisoning. And then not long after, about 7 of them came and then with the same complaints. But then they had also complained that they had eaten some kenke and pepper the previous night. So we managed them. Then from yesterday up to this morning, we've had 27 cases. Yesterday we had 22, and then today we've had 5. This dawn they brought about 5 again. So in all 27 cases. Yesterday, out of the 22, 1 was very bad, came with shock, but we managed him and then we discharged him as well. But then after we had about 12 cases, we sent our public health team to the school to also investigate what's happening. So we went to look at the kitchen staff, whether they have food handling certificate, their water source, then how they drink, whether they drink from open tap or where they get their drinking water from, the water they use to cook and the rest. We went and checked the kitchen staff, at least the certificates that we saw were valid, they've not expired as well. And then they told us they use bottled water and then sometimes sachet water as well. They don't drink from the open tap. So far, that's what has happened. We've run some lab investigations. Some of the results are out, some are not out. But it basically points to food poisoning. But then today we've gone back to the school again to go and take samples from the kitchen, some of the things that they use to cook, so that if we'll be able to identify any particular bacteria from the samples that we will take. But then usually when you have cases like this, we would have to rule out other things as well. So we did cholera test as well. All the 27 were negative.
Now, some worried parents told Joy News their children were being rushed to the hospital.
Be ofiano pay. And I mean, I call see me fire no any parent direct say me ban Stephanie. Na me Jesus say na busan pan say bibiana. And I say o yare na admit no Adabraka Polyclinic. Na busa say dey na ye no. And also me ma come and call for many serious.
I was informed this morning on the phone that my son had been admitted. I had to rush to this place from Latipiokoshi. When I came here, he was on drip and asleep. When he woke up, he told me he had eaten kenke and had stomach pains. I'm just hoping he gets better soon.
Oh, about time day. Hami. Say baby says.
Then no catch her.
Okay, me buy am busa and say no wada. Me try say kakra me who send any atena me sorry call in chain and busa and say ɛdeɛ ne problem no say no mu di kenkebi ti ɛno na ama ne yam ɛne yanti me na house master ne gyina nti me ko bisa no ma ɔno so calm me down no o confirm me say bibi sa asa na nkola na eka ti empire ne yebo say nyambe bo na bibia be kam.
Away from that, work would soon start on a $70 million sea defense project on the Ningo Pram shore. The effect of the tidal waves is visible on buildings close to the shore. My colleague Elton Brobe has more on what the sea defense project will mean to the coastal community.
It's a beautiful Wednesday morning on the shores of Ningo Pram. Now what you are seeing behind me are fishermen who are putting together their nets to start the day's business. Indeed, for many years, the sea you see over here has served as means of their livelihood, has provided their livelihood. And this morning, they are getting ready to go to the sea and fish. Now, on the other side of where their business will take them, just at the back is a building. And this building you are seeing has completely been taken over by the tidal waves that comes from the sea. Now, the impact of the sea on these properties is that they are unable to rebuild, because the more you build, the more the sea come over to take over. People have, through their own means, been preventing the sea, and that is their own means of saying that they've put together a sea defense wall to address the impact of the sea on their property. That can change now, because on this third day of the President Akufo-Addo's tour of the Greater Accra region, what is going to happen here this morning will be a permanent solution to the impact of the sea on property here. Now, the President is expected to cut sword for work to start on the 20-kilometer sea defense project. Now, the importance of this sea defense project to ensure that property of this nature or house of this nature will have some protection from the impact of the sea. Now, our information is that all paperwork have been done. What is left is for the President to cut sword for work to start. Information we've picked is that the work will go on for the next 2 years. When it is completed, there will be a wall here, and it will stretch 20 kilometers to ensure that property here, lives and property, can be protected from the impact of the sea. So while people go on and fish, which has become their main source of livelihood for thousands of years because of the sea here, the same sea which is wreaking havoc on property here, the sea defense will prevent it, and that's what we are all waiting here to see.
Now, President Akufo-Addo, who is on his third day of the Greater Accra region tour, is expected to cut sword for work to start. But ahead of the ceremony, presidential correspondent Elton Brobe has been speaking to the Works and Housing Minister Samuel Atachian on the project.
It's going to be a 5-kilometer project.
Okay.
And subsequently, you will see how we'll be able to extend it to know. This is not the only exposure to the ferocious powers of the sea. The sea is eating our beaches away. So it is very capital intensive. This project, for instance, is going to cost us about $1 million to do it. And we need to do it for two things. Here's a salt, growing area so that their livelihood are enhanced. They'll be able to do their salt business. Number two, we have fishing as their mainstay. They'll be able to do fishing as well and prevent any arrangement in which you cannot say that, oh, somebody might have sited a hotel resort here, close to the beach, but because of the way the sea defense arrangement is poor, they are not able to do it. So it will expose this place if we do this job.
And how long will the construction take?
I think the construction period is 4 years. Yes, to do a 5-kilometer stretch of coastal protection.
Away from that story, parents of the 4 children brutalized by some soldiers in Sunyani are happy justice has been served their children. Expressing their appreciation to Joy News for championing the plight of the children who were wrongfully accused of stealing laptops, the parents appealed for proper medical care for their wards. Bono Regional Correspondent Precious Semivos' report is read to you.
The 4 children were dragged from their homes and brutally beaten by 3 soldiers in the Bono regional capital, Sunyani, who wrongly accused them of stealing their laptops. Almost 2 years after the incident, the children are still living with the devastating scars, including bleeding from their nose, which has affected their education. They have been speaking to Joy News.
My head still aches as I speak. Case in Siena, many me and Sierra Hospital, me found for eye clinic, but I'm just getting home to know. We don't have money. The medical report said next follow the report by say no one see a bueno. Yeah, that chair be higher. Oh, okay. Oh, but I didn't mean to say NG, a veggie. I mean, Genesis can also, I'm with the money. Say it to me, I hear me want to, and I sent to me, I want to it. The Miss almost a moment when you acquire one. So you see a baby near on being. Cause he made me in a quail don't be more. Or the corner somewhere, we will accept it. All we ask for is proper attention. I'm feeling some way. My hospital, even after treatment. The same thing. Too many times. But the problem still persists. And senior hammer pant, me scale with the way, see bit my some you saying to me, sir. Them did me and some woman now quite one my.
Last week in Intimi go school, me craft me.
I bleed from my nose a lot, so I can't go to school. I've been home throughout the week.
And then I
need my health back, so I can go to school. I ache at the hip.
This year, because I cry, my nine say, my house is say, don't pay me. And I'm
at the back of my neck too hurts. And my mother doesn't have money. Anytime I complain to her, she tells me she can't go for any more loans. She only encourages me to manage the pain. She wishes she could help, but she seems helpless.
The parents who resorted to taking loans to care for them insist the children need proper medical attention as their current situation could affect their well-being in the future. A recommendation for SRAJ has indicated a compensation package for them, expressing their joy on the vindication of their children and SRAJ's recommendation. The parents also commended Joy News for their push for justice for the innocent children. They hope they get the support for proper medical care for the children. The children need care. They shouldn't abandon the children on us after giving us the money. They must help until the children are fully fit. The children are really sick. As for my son, he complains of headache daily after school. His entire head was butchered and later bandaged. He can't see properly when the sun is scorching.
Because he ebimu anu asem even limam ne kura be ka kire se we
thank you immensely for the support. If we had listened to others, we would have aborted the push for justice. The support encouraged us to keep fighting. This shows that Joy FM and Joy News care for the voiceless. Everyone must patronize
asem no ama yese yenso even yenhwe obi a woni bi ne yetimi akosa akasa asemwie no ena ama magie di se mo radio mo TV station no esese ha ena nipa dodo na ahwe pa.
Yes, sir. We plead that the destroyed items belonging to the boys will also be replaced.
Precious Semevos reports for Joy News.
Now, Ghanaians perceive increase in corruption level and have given government low marks on fighting graft, according to a new Afrobarometer study. More than half of Ghanaians say the level of corruption in the country has increased and the government is doing a poor job in fighting it. Approval ratings for the government's anti-corruption efforts have declined sharply since 2017 after more than doubling in the previous 3 years. The survey shows that Most Ghanaians perceive at least some corruption in key public institutions, and a majority fear retaliation if they report graft to the authorities. Ghana ranks 78th out of the 180 countries on the Transparency International's 2018 Corruption Perception Index, 3 places below its 2017 position. Research analyst at CDD Ghana Newton Noviewo has been explaining the findings.
Are losing confidence in the institutions that should be maintaining law and order, and also ensuring that some of these issues around corruption are kept. So we generally the issue about corruption in the police, the judges and magistrates, members of parliament, all of these really it's very high, and these are institutions that we trust to safeguard the country. I mean, perceptions are mainly formed around people, what people read and hear, and see around them. And so Ghanaians generally are actually observing issues that come up in the media around corruption and how they are resolved, and then in some cases how the people who have been fingered have been cleared. And so basically, these are the issues that I think is informing people's perception around corruption when it comes to.
Now, Chief Executive Officer of MTN, Selom Adadevo, says subscribers who bought data between December 1 and midnight of December 3 should expect a 100% bonus. According to him, it is compensation for what the customers had lost during the period. He spoke earlier on the Super Morning Show.
And the last few days have been tough. We've been working very hard to resolve some issues that we've had since Sunday, December 1st. The good news is we're getting there. We're almost through all the issues, and I'm sure we'll be talking through some of those this morning. But last night we implemented some changes to our systems, so our customers should see some significant improvements in their experience today. On December 1st, we implemented new tariff plans. We implemented non-expiry. And we also implemented a new functionality to allow flexibility. We call it Flexi, and we can talk a little bit more. So these 3 changes are the big changes we implemented on December 1st. So non-expiry today on our *138 hash and *567 hash, you will get non-expiry of bundles. Or you can go ahead and buy any MTN bundle today on *138 hash or *567 hash, and you should have non-expiry applied to those bundles. The discussion on data price is a much broader topic. If you start to look at the data pricing trends around the world, but also around the countries that we're close to. So if you compare Ghana to Nigeria, for example, or Cote d'Ivoire, or even the other West African countries, Ghana has the lowest data price in the region. If you compare Ghana to other African countries, we're one of the lowest in terms of data pricing. We're definitely in the bottom 3 in terms of data pricing. The issue really is the cost of production of data plus the affordability that exists in the marketplace. However, I want to also let you customers know that what we've done since December 1st in order to enhance the value perception and the value proposition of our products is to enable non-expiry at very similar volumes that you had received prior to non-expiry being implemented. So basically what we're saying is, if you had a data volume before December 1st that expired in 1 day, you can have that same data volume that will not expire going forward. So that's been implemented, and you should see a lot more value from the MTN network in terms of data value.
Away from data, residents of Sambaka, especially children, are now beaming with smiles after a non-profit non-governmental organization constructed, furnished and handed over a 3-unit classroom block with ancillary facilities valued at 259,493 Ghana cedis. The intervention by the NGO Vibrant Village Foundation, VVF, follows a Joy News report on the difficulties that pupils at Sambaka go through to have access to education. Initially, children would walk 10 kilometers to the nearest community, sometimes to cross streams just to attend primary school. Joy News' Rafiq Salam highlighted the plight of the children in Sangbaka 3 years ago and brings us the update.
16 carried a report about a myriad of challenges faced by the people of Sangbaka, located 28 kilometers away from the Sasalawas capital of Bolu. Education is on a nosedive in the area. The community can only boast of a kindergarten and 3 classrooms for lower primary. Those who have dreams of completing the basic school have to work. Joining us in May 2016 carried a report about a myriad of challenges faced by the people of Sangbaka, located 28 kilometers away from the Sasalawas capital of Bolu. Education is on a nosedive in the area. The community can only boast of a kindergarten and 3 classrooms for lower primary. Those who have dreams of completing the basic school have to walk daily 10 kilometers to Nyentie in order to fulfill that dream. Sometimes they do it by crossing 3 rivers to get to the school. There's a new wind of change blowing in the Outlanders community. A non-profit, non-governmental organization, Vibrant Village Foundation, VVF, led by its country director, Osman Mohammed, led the charge.
We also conducted a needs assessment last year, and it actually confirmed the story that was actually aired by Joy News. And it was very apparent that a lot of in some communities, people do not have access to good in educational infrastructure, and this inhibits significantly teaching and learning.
They constructed and finished a 3-unit classroom block with ancillary facilities valued at the cost of 259,493 Ghana cedis for the community. At a ceremony to hand over the project to the community, representative of the Upper West Regional Director of the Ghana Education Service, Chakura Dramani, poured encomiums and laudations on VVF for working to improve education in the Sasala West District.
Sangbaka is one of our deprived communities in this district.
It's live on Joy News today. Coming up in business, Ghana to deepen relationship with United Arab Emirates in production of oil and gas.
Gas products, not the gas itself, but derivatives of gas, fertilizer, ammonia, everything. And this is an area we really want to deepen relationship.
Daryl Carl joins us after this.